Okay, so for this video, I'm going to do more to improve on the melee combat. Um, and after I do that, I'm going to add some sword swipes using the Niagara particle system or weapon trails to enhance the visible aspects of the sword swing. But first, I'm going to create one animation. Um, Basically, what this is the Android Android walk animation. So I already have one where the android's walking forward with the gun pointed, but I need one where he's walking backwards. The reason why is if the player gets too close, then I need the android to walk backwards. So what I'm going to do is everything selected. I'm just going to look this up real quick on my phone. Render, scale, keyframes. So it's the oops. It's the S key. So I'm going to make it minus 30. And I'm just going to move everything okay, so it's S key and just moving the mouse. So all I gotta do is I just have to get rid of this key here. And right before shall I move this over? So right before the foot lands, because he's walking backwards, it's the toe that lands. this foot. I'm going to get rid of this key. And same thing. Okay, so that was just walk in, walk back. It's basically the walk animation in reverse, so I'm just going to export that. And it's going to be called walk back. And I'm just going to save it as the same name. Walk back. Okay, perfect. Now I just have to copy, paste, and I have to import it into Unreal. So I have to select default pose and then make sure import animations is selected and press import, and that should take just a couple moments. Okay, so before I do anything, I want to go into each of my enemies and make sure under collisions that camera is ignored, both in the capsule, the skeletal mesh, and for the enemy with the gun, I should also double check the gun, and this one should really have no collision at all. Compile that. And lastly, the enemy with the sword, ignore camera, skeletal mesh, ignore camera. And I should also double check the sword. And I'll just set one of that to no collision. Okay, so I'm just gonna quickly double check. Just want to make sure that when there's a whole bunch of like enemies around me and I swing the camera around, the camera doesn't like go into like a weird position, because before like the player wasn't visible. If I like swing the camera around, the enemies would like push the camera to the side, but now it's not doing that, which is good. And also want to quickly change the time in which the camera moves whenever it's close to the enemy. rotate to closest enemy. The other camera takes if closest enemy is within a certain distance, smaller than 500, and the multi-sphere traces detecting enemies. If those two things are true, then it does all these things, but it also moves the camera to a certain location. But I want to make it happen faster. I have it set to 2 seconds, but I'm going to change it to 1 second. So just going to double check that. So it's going to use a certain distance. And as soon as I run away, the camera moves back to regular. As soon as the closest enemy gets close enough, the camera moves again. Just want to see what happens when I equip the gun. There's one thing I can fix. This should only happen if gun is not equipped. Not. So gun is not equipped. And equip member not equals what is it? Is not equal to. And I need an and boolean. Just for safety, I'm gonna just have to compile this. I'll create one more pin, and out of here, I'll do another branch. So if gun is equipped, and equip member equals 2, and I want to set this to 0. This one is set to 0 because either one of these is not true. It's closest enemy is not smaller or equal to 500 in distance, and the multi-sphere is not detecting any enemies. But this one that I just added is set to 0 if the enemy is within that distance, but the camera has already moved to that closer position. But in that state, if the player equips the gun, then this needs to move back. So I'm going to try this out real quick. So I have the sword. So the camera moves closer as soon as I equip the gun. Oh, that's the Round distance. I need to get the one where so the camera moves closer, but if I click the gun, I have to copy and paste this down here as well. Okay, I want to have to come back to this fix. So I'm going to work on the Android with the gun. It's I'm actually going to copy and paste this. So this first one says if it's smaller than 1000, then it stands still and plays the idle animation. I'm going to make this smaller than 1000 but greater or equal to 500. So if it's within this range, so I need an aim boolean. If it's within this range, then it stands still in one position and just keep shooting. But it smaller than 500. I want to copy this one. Get rid of this. I'm just going to change this to a negative value, negative 20. It's going backwards. And the animation is going to be compile, save all. Okay, so I'm going to quickly try this. So if I move towards the enemy with the gun, right now you can see the enemy just standing there with the gun, but as soon as I move towards that enemy, he starts moving back. And I think we'll be moving back a lot faster. So let's just say the speed is minus 20. I'll put it to minus 60. As you can see, he's moving back. Much faster. Looks okay. One other thing that I want to change before I work on the weapon trails, or the sword side, is the actual attacks by this regular fighter and the fighter with the sword. So when the enemies within a certain distance, which is 100, I think it's a little bit too close. I need to make it. Starts attacking 100. That's a bit distance actually. It stops moving, so everything's set to 0 here. And then it basically attacks. So basically, it does everything once, and after 1 second, because each attack is 1 second, it gets reset after 1 second. So it just keeps on attacking and attacking and attacking. Instead, I'm going to add a few pins. And Okay, so what I'm going to do is all these attacks, it just attacks based on what the attack number is, so which attack equals 1, then it plays this animation, and then it sets it to 2, and if it equals 2, then it plays this animation and sets it to 3, so on and so forth. So I have 4 different attacks, and it just plays whichever, it just plays one at a time. Every time this is up, the do once node is reset. But I'm going to, instead of connecting it here, first I'm going to create a delay. So there's maybe like, let's see, 3 seconds where the enemy is just standing there and does nothing. And after 3 seconds, it plays these montages. No, these are animations. So play animation in skeletal mesh, and I want to play the antic. And the antic is 2 seconds long, so 3-second delay, 2-second animation, that's 5 seconds total. So that means I need a delay of 5 seconds before the enemy attacks. And each of these attacks are 1 second, so that's a total of 6 seconds. So therefore, this do once gets to reset after 6 seconds. So all I'm going to do, I'll actually have to do the same thing for the android with the sword. So I'll break this. Create a delay of 3 seconds. Play animation. This one is a sword antic. So that's a total of 5 seconds. So after a delay of 5 seconds, it plays the attack animation. And that's a total of 6 seconds, so the do once gets reset after 6. Okay, so I'm going to compile. Replace city all. And I just want to see this in action. So let's just say the android stands there, 1, 2, 3, antic animation, and then attacks. I want to try and get one of the sword enemies. So the sword enemy walks to me. 1, 2, 3, antic, and then attack. Antic, and then attack. As he attacks, I can evade. Unfortunately, the character is constantly rotating to the closest character, so the evasion is always towards the player. So that's something else I can fix. I fixed the animation so it doesn't scale down. The scale was scaled down to like a smaller value for some reason. One thing I need to change real quick is it's not playing any animations. Okay, I know what I need to do. So right before it plays the antic, there's a 3-second delay. And for those 3 seconds, I need to do, I need to create a sequence. I'm gonna play animation. This one's gonna be Android idle. Copy and paste it 3 times. Need 2 delay nodes. So it plays once, the idle. It plays once more after 1 second. And then it plays once more after 2 seconds. So after 2 seconds it plays it one last time, which the animation is 1 second, so that's after 3 seconds, it plays the antic. So all of this has to happen before the antic. And that's something that's completely missing. That's why it's got like this weird pause in the middle. Compile that. And copy all this. And I want to implement it in the sword. So I'll move this down. So I just have to change these to sword. Idle. Sword idle. And sword idle. So if I compile that, once more. So now if the enemy comes within attacking range, which is about here, he stops. There's idle animation, and then antic, and punch. And also see if I can get this sword enemy to come. So it comes within range. Idle, antic, then attack. Okay, that's good. So the only thing I need to fix is the equip. Actually, I should also check the evasion. Evade. The animation plays and moves to the go-to location, but when it's in a certain distance of the closest enemy, it okay. locate the closest enemy. If multi-sphere detected, okay, I know what I have to do. I'm gonna, when the evade button is pressed, which is the shift button, this is going to be set to false temporarily. So evade, make this a little bit bigger, create 2 more of these. I'm gonna set multi-sphere detected to false. And then after a delay, the evade is 1 second, the animation is 1 second, so whoops, I have the wrong delay, I forget. I type in delay to make sure I select this one. After 1 second, this same variable is going to be set to true. So let me try that. So it's facing the closest enemy, but if I press just say the S button for down, and I evade, it doesn't really work. That was a little bit more tricky. Okay, I'm gonna leave that for now. Then equipment be fixed. Well, the one thing that I will add to this evade is that it can only happen if I'm going to copy this one. So gun is not equipped, and equipment number is not 2. Then you can evade. So evasion can't be done while the gun is equipped. And I guess the one last thing that I want to do is okay, I remember now. So when it's close, within a certain distance of the closest enemy, and the sphere is detecting something, but the player all of a sudden equips a gun, then I need the camera to move. But this isn't working here. It's also not working here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to maybe it's these two. So orient rotation gain is turned off, and use controller rotation yaw is turned on. No idea if this is going to work. So if I'm just standing there, closest enemy is within a certain distance, so I'm rotating to that enemy. But if I equip the gun, let's just say I move away, hey, that looks terrible. Let's just say if I equip a gun before any of these guys come close. I'm going to get rid of both of these. The way it was. I'm just going to keep it simple. gun is only equipped if I'm gonna actually this might be a simpler way. So rotate the closest enemy. Only happens if gun gun is not equipped. And equip member not equal to so none of this happens if the gun is already equipped. And if this is happening already, if the enemy is within a certain distance, and then the player presses the equip button to equip the gun, then these become true, so therefore anything after this stops triggering. Okay, so I'll compile. And I want to save everything. Okay, so if I press play, I'll equip the sword, wait for the closest enemy to get within a certain distance. So I rotate to the closest enemy. If I equip the gun, then all that other stuff no longer applies. But as soon as I unequip, then I'm once again rotating to the closest enemy. I think that sort of works. Equip the sword, equip the gun. Okay, I think that pretty much solves it. Doesn't look, there's lots of things I could improve to make it look better. Doesn't look that great. But I think the main functionalities work now. So I'm quite happy with it. And I'm going to cut it off here. I'm not going to get to um, the weapon trails. I was going to create like a ribbon trail behind the player's sword just to add to the visuals, but I think this video is too long, so I'll save that for the next video. So until then, I hope you like this one. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Okay, thanks.